Welcome everyone to Next Level Relentless. In this video, I'm going to discuss how to use faith over fear to take control of your life. So let's get started. You see, most of us don't lack faith. We lack the courage to use it. Now, for years, fear made every decision for me until one moment forced me to choose. Either I keep surviving or I finally take control of my life.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Now, the first point that I want to start with is stop letting fear make your decisions. Now, I used to wait for the perfect moment to start new habits, to build connections, and to improve myself. But what I learned was that perfection was just fear in disguise. Now, when I started acting before I'd felt ready, applying for opportunities, setting boundaries, and speaking up, everything shifted. So you see, faith isn't about feeling fearless. It's about acting while fear is still in the room. Now, the second point I want to discuss is I changed my environment before it changed me. Now, I started to realize the people around me were comfortable with who I was. Now, when I started leveling up by learning new things, taking care of myself, and thinking bigger, there were some who tried pulling me back to the old me. So I created distance. I surrounded myself with growth content, mentors, and routines that built me, not drained me. You see, faith grows where doubt is not constantly being watered. And the third point I want to share with you is I proved to myself I could be consistent. Now, I want to share a personal testimony that just something that I went through that got to help me or give me strength to prove to myself that I was better and that I was stronger. So, this happened many, many, many years ago. There was this time in my life where I was going through more downs than ups, to be honest. Um, I had just broken off from a relationship that unfortunately was a toxic relationship, a relationship where I had lost my self-worth. I had lost who I was, trying to make someone else happy that truly never loved me for who I was. Just wanted to love me for the version that she wanted me to be. And so I was dealing with that. Plus, during this relationship and everything that I was dealing with, it it kept me with a lot of bottled up strength. And me being a person that I don't like to share things, I'm very quiet, very reserved. I just kept everything inside, trying to figure out on my own. And things started leaking out with people that didn't deserve it. I started having problems within my own personal life, whether with my job, whether with my mother, stuff like that. And everything was falling apart. I was having problems at home. I was laid off while I was going to school, and yeah, I was just worried because I had a student loan, and if I don't get a job, at the same time, I had a lot of pressure between me going to school and then doing my internship in the hospital. And it just so happens that one day, one of those days, better said, I was in a car accident in which I fractured my right hand. And so in that moment, I just felt that everything was just had piled up so much on me where I was so deep in a hole that I just couldn't see the light. But me being who I was and just keeping the pain within and not showing anyone because I didn't want to show weakness, I just buried and buried and buried inside. And I would say many, many months after that, my hand had healed from the fracture. And that job that I had got laid off, they called me back to come back again. And things were kind of fixing themselves on the outside. But on the inside, I still felt very depressed, very sad. And just the problems kept on going. I remember one Saturday night, I was home alone. I um I was just very sad, very depressed, and I just didn't have anyone to talk to. With the problems at home, I couldn't talk to my mom because she was very sad by things that I said and the way I reacted, and I can't blame her because I was in the wrong. So I just felt alone. I just felt fully alone, fully empty, where not even God was with me. That's how depressed I was. And so I remember that Saturday night, I got out the shower. It was like Saturday night, got out the shower, didn't have no plans. And I just had this thought where I was gonna just end it. I was gonna kill myself. And I would say that I'm a little bit of a coward in the sense that I wouldn't have the mental fortitude to slit my wrist or hang myself or anything like that. But my mindset is I was gonna just drink a lot of Clorox until I don't know I was gonna poison myself to death. And so I remember having the Clorox bottle with me and just having my head in the toilet and just crying. And I remember hearing this voice that was inside of me. I don't remember if it was my voice or it was another voice that was just telling me, "Don't leave your mom alone." And it kept on repeating that, "Don't leave your mom alone. Don't leave your mom alone." And I just kept on crying and crying and crying. So after an hour that I was just after, I would say more than an hour, I got up and still the the bathroom was still foggy since I take a warm hot shower, and so I remember wiping down the mirror for the bathroom cabinet, so to speak, and I looked at the mirror, and the reflection that I saw back at me was not who I was. I didn't recognize the person that was looking back, and I would say for the first time in my life, I had a really good look at myself. I had a really good look at where I was. I realized that that's not where I wanted to be. And right there, I made a decision. Either that was the night that I was going to die, or that was the night that I was going to be reborn into something totally different than I ever was. And so I decided, and then that I decided, and you can see the decision that I'm here. And so in that moment, I realized that everything that happened in my life was because of my fault. I wasn't disciplined. You know, every failure I was blaming on others. But in reality, it was me because I made the choices that led me down that path. And so after that moment, I committed to just one small non negotiable every day, such as journaling, taking walks, and praying. After a couple of weeks of doing that, I started noticing that my identity started to shift. Now, once my identity started shifting, my life started following, and things, one step at a time, started getting better and better and better. So, with that being said, I want to share this thought to this main point, and that is consistency builds confidence, and confidence kills fear. All right, now that ends the video. I want to share one final thought with you all, and that is at some point you have to stop waiting for the fear. Now, the final thoughts to this video. Now, at some point, you have to stop waiting for the fear to leave and start moving with it. You see, faith isn't a feeling, it's a decision. Now, the moment I stopped negotiating with my excuses and started trusting what I could become was the moment that my life changed. And if you're watching this, your turning point can be right now. So thank you for watching this video. But before I end it, I wanted to share something that just came up, and just want to say, if you take anything from this, I just wanted to say that don't let fear stop you from living the life you want to live. Always keep in mind that you're one step away from living the life that you want. You just have to be brave enough to take that step, take that leap of faith. Even when fear is staring you dead in your eye, don't let it stop you. I promise you that things do get better. And trust me, the fear will never go away. But if you walk with it, you will adapt. And your life will get better. So God bless. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll see you on the next video.